Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Versus Night. Tonight I will be comparing Eddie Murphy, Delirious, released in 1983, versus Eddie Murphy, Raw, released in 1987. Alright, so let's get started on this one with a different kind of a category because this is not an actual movie comparison. This is an actual stand-up comedy concert comparison. So my first category will be overall presentation. So Eddie Murphy's Delirious has the Busboys performing The Boys Are Back in Town, which was the theme song for Eddie Murphy's more recent movie at that time, which was 48 Hours. And that was pretty cool, getting them to, perform. And while it's playing the song, you're getting this little montage of footage of Murphy with his road crew and everything, hanging out and just being cool with them. And that was pretty cool. And then during the show, Murphy wears a red leather jacket with matching pants. And meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, Eddie Murphy Raw opens with a sketch in which Deion Richmond plays a young Eddie, and Samuel L. Jackson plays his uncle in this sequence. And that was a pretty cool little fun sketch, and Deion Richmond does a really good job of playing a really young version of Eddie Murphy in this little set piece here and everything. And it was a nice little way to introduce the film. Now, the differences between Delirious and Raw is Eddie Murphy Delirious was a HBO special. And whereas Eddie Murphy Raw ended up becoming released theatrically. As an actual theatrical movie in a way, even though it was a, stand-up routine concert kind of thing. And during that show, Murphy wears a purple jacket with matching pants. He drops the F-bomb a total of 223 times in Raw, which was at the time the most in a theatrical film, only to be surpassed in 1990 by Goodfellas. But that record is nowhere near what Delirious had, as Eddie Murphy dropped a total of 230 F-bombs in that one. But since it wasn't a theatrical film, it didn't count toward that record. But I'm going to give the overall presentation to Raw, just because of that introduction skit. That was pretty cool, and everything. I can't say that it's because of Murphy's outfit, because I like both of his outfits he wore. So, but yeah, I'm going to give this one to Raw because of the opening sketch. All right, so let's move on to routines and see if we can get a different outcome there. In Eddie Murphy Delirious, Murphy has a cute routine about kids and ice cream trucks. And Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie has a routine about his mother making him burgers that are better than McDonald's. Both of these routines in there were pretty funny, and overall really cute because he's talking about when he was a kid and everything. And that's a close one to call, those two routines. And then he talked about family parties in Delirious, in which one of his uncles nearly burned down his whole backyard or something. And that was pretty funny. Meanwhile, in Raw, he has making fun of white people's dancing. That was pretty funny. That was a pretty good routine there. And then in Delirious, he has a little routine that he does about parental discipline, in which he's having to dodge shoes being thrown at him and stuff and everything. And that was a pretty good routine there. Meanwhile, in Raw, you got a really cool routine in which he was talking about how Italians were inspired by Rocky and were trying to act tough like Rocky and everything. And both those were pretty cool. But as far as the routines go, I think I'm going to give the edge on this one. I think it was the funnier gags and the funnier routines were probably on Delirious on this one. All right, so let's move on to impersonations and see if we can get a different outcome here. Now, Eddie Murphy is the king of impersonations. If he decides to do an impersonation of someone, he does it spot on. Eddie Murphy is excellent at doing impersonations. And in Delirious, he does an impersonation of Michael Jackson. He does an impersonation of James Brown. He does an impersonation of Stevie Wonder. And probably the best skit on there, he does a version of a gay couple version of Ralph Cramden and Ed Norton, which was pretty hilarious. Meanwhile, on Raw, he does an impersonation of Mr. T. He does another impersonation of Michael Jackson. But then he does an impersonation of Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor. And my God, his Bill Cosby is spot on and hilarious.
You cannot say filth, flarn, filth. And that's what I'm talking about. You cannot say fuck.
He does it so well. But then the creme de la creme of his impersonations is Richard Pryor.
Do the people laugh when you say what you say? I said, yes. He said, do you get paid? I said, yes. He said, well, tell Bill I said have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
I mean, Jesus, if you were not looking directly at the screen knowing that it was Eddie Murphy talking, you would think for sure that Richard Pryor stepped out on the stage and made a cameo in that stand-up comedy routine, you know. So this one, even though I do like the Ralph Cramden and Ed Norton part in Delirious, I'm going to give this one to Raw just because of the Cosby and Pryor parts. Those were just, I love those impersonations. They were perfect. All right, so let's move on to direction and see if we can get a final winner here. Eddie Murphy Delirious was directed by Bruce Gowers, while Eddie Murphy Raw was directed by Robert Townsend. Now, this is not like films where you're directing and you're doing certain scenes and stuff. This is mostly, the direction on where they should be having the angles of the cameras at certain points when he's doing his routines and stuff, because they're not directing Eddie. Eddie's up there doing his thing, you know. But, you know, I guess the director would have to be knowing where to direct the camera people to, you know, do, you know, the cinematographer or whatever to, oh, go here, go there, go, you know, make sure you're here when this happens, when he does this gag and everything. And for as much as it was made out to be a big thing as far as a theatrical film, yes, I mean, it stays on him pretty good, but I don't think it's any better than what the HBO direction of Bruce Gowers. So, in fact, I think I'm going to give that one to Delirious, because I think, you know, other than, you know, Townsend directing that opening sketch with Dion Richmond and Samuel L. Jackson, the rest of the actual show is not directed to where it's really anything special, and it makes it better than Delirious. Delirious was very, very well done and well put together for especially being just an HBO stand-up comedy special. So I'm going to give this one to Delirious. So that comes up with our final outcome of 2-2-2. I think it's fitting. I mean, they're both great stand-up comedy specials. But one was made out to be something really big because it was a theatrical film. And like I said, I don't think it's really that much better than what Delirious is as far as overall, you know. So, yeah. Pretty even these two are as far as overall, you know, when you put everything together. So, but what do you guys think of Eddie Murphy's Delirious and Eddie Murphy's Raw? Do you agree with my assessment on these two films? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have an option right now to vote for a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all other Plus members to see prior to it going live on the channel for all subscribers. So if you want to get interactive, now is your chance as a Dark Knight Fans Plus member. Well, that's the end of another Versus Night. If you missed last week's Versus Night, check out the link up in here. Or if you've missed any of the other Versus Nights, check out our playlist and see anything that you have missed.